Warning, this case contains explicit details that could be offensive to people who are sensitive to materials of sexual abuse and child abuse. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Night Parade podcast, where we shine light on the dark. Each episode we present to you a case on all things true crime and paranormal. We'll be your host for this evening. My name is Glenn.
And my name is Jan.
And we work together here with a team in Night Parade Studio to bring you this show. We've got a pretty crazy episode lined up for you today, so get ready. We're going to be continuing our season off of Disgraced Icons with someone who's even worse than Gary Glitter, I'd say. As always, we'll be linking all our sources we use for this episode down in the description.
Right, that is right. For those of you tuning in with us for the first time, we are the Night Parade, and we love to welcome you guys to the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. And today's episode features a truly vile and evil person, another icon that has fallen from stardom, another former rock star. Let's get started, Glenn.
Let's do it. Ian Watkins was a former rock star from the disgraced alternative rock band LostProphets. They rose to fame in the late 2000s and 2010s. In 2013, Ian was convicted of some of the most heinous crimes. Guys, these crimes are truly revolting. It's pretty bad what this guy did. Yeah, I'm going to be citing information directly from the transcripts, and if you ever decide to read the court transcripts, I suggest that you don't. It gets pretty bad, the things that this guy did.
It does.
Yeah. All right, so the judge of this case, Justice Royce, had this to say about the case. Any decent person looking at and listening to this material here will experience shock and revolt, anger and incredulity. What these three did here plumb new depths of depravity. So we're going to show a picture of Ian right now on the screen. And on the left side, you can see him. This was when he was in his prime. He was actually a rock star at this point. He's got this Brendan Urie thing going on.
Yeah, he has the hair, that one side look. And
layered hair, probably has makeup on.
No facial hairs. And on the right side, on the other hand, is his mugshot, we believe, and this is a complete turnaround of his style. He's
got a full beard now.
Brush up hairstyle, full gray.
He looks like a vampire kind of.
White hair. Yeah. So,
all right. So
let's talk about his. Let's talk about Ian Watkins. Now, his full name is Ian David Carlslake Watkins, and he was a former Welsh singer, songwriter, and musician. A member of alternative rock band called LostProphets, and the LostProphets were actually pretty big back then.
Yeah, they were,
and they achieved quite a bit of success during its peak. Did a lot of tours, made a lot of money, and they toured around the world performing at different festivals, including Warped Tour, which is one of the big festivals out there.
It's pretty big. Down here in California, I almost went to one in 2012. I might have seen him.
Probably, could have, So, in his early life, he was born in Merthyr Tydfil, I think that's how you pronounce it, and that is located in Wales. He was born on July 30th, 1977, and said to be a happy child and a happy teenager. But this shows no warning at all, because he was so liked by his peers. He was a happy-go-lucky kind of child. He was the life of the party.
People liked him. And stuff. Growing up, he was actually described as charming and enthusiastic and charismatic. So people liked him. And he grew up in Pontypridd. He attended Hawthorne High School. There he met Mike Lewis, who would be a future bandmate of his. He actually got a first-class honors degree at University of Wales Newport in graphic design.
Wow.
That's
all right.
Crazy.
All right.
Before the band got big, he was straight edge. That means he didn't drink or do drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, you're going to be a good kid. You're not going to be doing any of those. Right. So, going back to it though, as you had mentioned from earlier, he graduated with a graphic design degree, right? And actually, that school is, one of the schools that were mentioned a lot back in my high school. As a graphic designer myself, that's that was one of the big schools. If you're gonna go abroad and you're studying graphic design, my mentor had always mentioned that school somehow and in a different way or another. Like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so that's
yeah.
it's pretty big.
That's a pretty prestigious school then. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
That shows you what kind of like student he really was.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He got first class honors degree. You know, so that just shows that he was pretty studious. You know.
Yeah, that's man. Honors degree, that's big. I don't even have a degree myself.
Well, he didn't drink or do drugs, so that's pretty surprising, you know, for somebody that's the front man of a rock band. That's actually a little rare, you know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Most of them do drugs, or
Yeah.
at least the very least drink. Yeah.
I mean, he was said to be a multi-talented frontman. He was charismatic and he could play guitar and drums.
Oof. Now those two instruments are hard to play.
Yeah.
You know, that's salute to him. Yeah, but
For sure.
yeah, eventually though, his fame got to him and he started doing drugs, hardcore drugs, I might say, and that is with coke, ecstasy, and then when he moved to LA, it went to crystal meth. That is the highest level of a drug that I know of. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. There's any harder drug than crystal meth.
Well, there,
You know?
not that I know.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
anyways.
yeah, so that is what he did in LA, and friends said that his addiction was actually very sad because he wouldn't shower, you know, and he was always on something. Doesn't matter what it is, you know, he's just always on it. Maybe he went to as low as doing sleeping pills, for I might know, you know.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him.
Right.
If his friends say he was always on something and that it was, you know, a sad depression, you know, it's like, maybe you know somebody like that. It's pretty sad when somebody goes through something like that.
And you know, help them out.
So let's talk about Ian's music career. He actually had a job as a graphic design artist. He had that going for him, but he had big dreams of being a rock star. And before LostProphets, he went through a handful of bands, actually. In 1991, he started a band called Aftermath, and they would perform in Watkins' Garden Shed. Yeah.
Just like any other band would start.
Yeah, for sure. I've been there. Been there. During the band's 2-year lifespan, he meets Lee Gaze, and with Lee Gaze they start a band called Fleshbind. But it's kind of a funny name.
That's a little sus right there. Fleshbind.
They were a hardcore American punk influence. Yeah. They played several shows at London before disbanding, so their lifespan wasn't that big. Wasn't that long. Fleshbind. Let's see. Then Ian reunites with Mike Lewis, and they start a band called Public Disturbance in 1995. At the same time, Lee Gaze leaves Fleshbind to start a band called LostProphets, and then in 1997, LostProphets performs alongside with Public Disturbance with Ian Watkins as lead vocals, and then Watkins decides to leave Public Disturbance and joins LostProphets. So that's how he gets in the band.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the LostProphets for a second.
Okay.
Overall, they were fairly successful as a band. You know, they were able to sold over 3.5 million albums worldwide. Yeah, now that's a big number right there. And they were in 2 top 10 singles in the UK single chart, 1 number 1 single on US alternative songs chart, and several rock music awards and nominations. Now that is a lot of you know,
they had a lot going for them, you know.
Yeah, exactly. They were right there,
basically on top of the world.
That's it. So in 2000, they released their album called The Fake Sound Progress, and this album blew up. I'm talking about this is what started their world tour. That says something about that album. You guys want to check it out, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Actually, South Wales. Actually, at this point, there's a wave of alternative music that comes out of South Wales, and LostProphets is actually the first one to blow up from this wave. Other bands to have come out of this wave were Attack Attack, Kids in Glass Houses, The Blackout, Funeral for a Friend.
Mhm.
I used to listen to Attack actually.
Maybe.
Yeah. In 2004, they come out with Start Something, another album that is a huge commercial success. This one's actually co-produced by Eric Valentine, who produced with Good Charlotte. Yes, and this album sells 2.5 million copies worldwide. That's huge.
Yeah, that is
pretty
big.
big success,
That is
yeah.
pretty big. And they then released three more albums after that. And in 2007, that would be the Liberation Transmission, which sold 625,000 copies worldwide. In 2010, they released The Betrayed, which hit number 3 on top of UK album charts. And in 2012, Weapons was the one that they released, and it was produced in Hollywood, California. In 2012, during one of the show at a Vans Warped Tour, Ian relapses into doing drugs. So, with that, he misses a show because of this. Their keyboardist had to take over and replace with the vocals. So all the songs they performed that night was just because of the keyboardist, and
him,
yeah. Ian should have been there.
Yeah,
right?
he should have been there.
Yeah, and as a result, the bassist got mad. And this bassist, his name is Stuart Richardson, and basically he had a physical confrontation with Ian. Gave him an ass whooping.
Oh, he beat his ass, huh?
Yeah, for real. I would too. Honestly,
that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up to do to your bandmates.
Right.
First of all,
Right.
Especially after getting so big, something
right,
like that, yeah.
exactly. That is something that you do not do, especially if the people are waiting for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
at a Vans Warped Tour, too.
Yes,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
And during the Weapons tour, Ian was arrested and charged with 13 sexual offenses against children, including attempted rape of a 1-year-old. That is now a 1-year-old. That is... I am speechless because that is so young to be taken advantage of. That is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his bandmates were shocked to find this out, as anybody would be.
Oh yeah.
They stated that they were heartbroken, angry, and disgusted. It's pretty bad.
I would be too, because honestly, if I've been working with the guy for a long time,
after
and finding
after
that
all
out,
and finding
yeah,
something like this
exactly.
out, it's not good.
Yeah.
And because of
Yeah.
this, they canceled the rest of their tour dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then LostProphets officially disbands on October 1st, 2013, shortly before the conclusion of Ian's trial.
I mean, yeah, you can't really get up from that.
Yeah.
That is something that you cannot dig yourself out of.
Yeah, you can't come back from something like
No,
this.
you can't.
It's pretty bad. I'm sure that I would be devastated. If I
Oh
were in
yeah,
this band.
for sure.
That
for sure.
the band obviously would have to,
You
disband.
have
for
to
something like
disband.
this.
Yeah, because honestly, there's no point, that your name have been with the band
and associated with
and
a crime like this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about Joanne Magelix. She's actually a pretty interesting character in the story. She is actually Ian's ex-girlfriend. When they met, she was a sex worker. And from 2008 and onwards, she had been reporting Ian to Welsh police and child services. And for whatever reason, Welsh police would choose not to respond to her pleas. And I think this is because Joanne was a sex worker.
Yeah. I mean, as if you work on that type of industry, you are frowned upon by a lot of authorities.
It comes with this kind of stigma,
right?
Where people
exactly.
don't really believe you anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so eventually, Joanne's compiling evidence would lead to his arrest. And the Independent Police Complaints Commission, the IPCC, they later do an investigation into the South Wales Police Department. We'll go into that later.
Yep. And initially, Joanne was actually in love with Ian Watkins. She was there to support him basically during his career, right? Until he began telling her about his disgusting fantasies. Now, Ian was a family man. He took care of his mom in front of Joanne to show kind of like a face that he was an actual gentleman, and I wouldn't do anything wrong to you. If I could treat my mom this way, I'm gonna treat you the same way. all the yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Although he began telling Joanne about a 14-year-old that he was abusing, he told her that he wanted to also get her pregnant so that he could abuse the baby.
Ugh.
To abuse the baby. I want my girl to get pregnant so that I could abuse the baby. That was what he was thinking.
Oh god.
That is some sick shit, Ian
Yeah.
Watkins. Honestly, that is something. But with all this craziness coming out of his mouth, she basically threatens him to, I'm gonna tell the police if you don't stop this bullshit, right? So,
Yeah.
On top of that, he begged not to, be snitched on by Joanne, and he also, what's that called? He draws up a gagging order against her. So basically, this order is saying that you can't snitch on me, and actually, this document was claimed that she lied about the evidence and protected Ian's privacy, all that kind of stuff. And she was basically forced to sign it, that you can't do anything to Ian, you got to sign this paper, and that's it. That's the end of it.
Yeah. She states that she was
She thinks, although she thinks that the police have been skeptical with her claims because because Ian had put up this gag order against her, and it was discovered that she had actually taken the money after signing, right, as Ian's escort, basically. So I believe though that's kind of like a hush money, like it's not just for your services for being an escort.
Okay, so I mean she threatens. let's get this straight. She threatens to report him, and then he begs her not to, then draws up a gagging order.
Exactly.
So that she wouldn't.
Exactly. So that she wouldn't snitch.
And then she says that she was forced to, and then finds out that she took some money to
right.
It.
So that in her case that was a little shady.
Yeah, I mean ultimately she does the same thing because she reports him.
Right, exactly. It was still because of her that that he's facing justice right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, no hate on you, Joanne. Like you did what you had to do. You made money, and you got someone really, evil out the streets. So thank you.
Yeah. And in December 2008, Joanne reports Ian to Pontypridd Child Services, and she actually sends a photograph of a young child, probably 4 years old, holding a picture frame. On top of the picture frame is a razor blade and a thin line of white powder.
Man,
and on the other hand is a rolled up 20-pound note.
Are you doing drugs in front of kids?
Yeah.
That is.
I mean, it's a picture of a kid
holding
doing these.
Yeah.
Or supposedly doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not. It's not good.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. So
she also sends them a handwritten letter on New Year's Eve, also reporting Ian to police. Oh wait. Sorry. She also sends them a handwritten letter on New Year's Eve reporting Ian, and police did not disclose any information to her about any actions they were taking against Ian. Yeah, and their excuse was they have not decided how to interview Joanne yet.
No.
Oh wow.
No. All you had to do, guys, was actually listen to her story. Nothing else. You didn't even have to come up with questions. The only question you should have asked her was, what happened?
Yeah.
What do you know? Tell us.
Just get the facts.
Exactly.
What is there to decide?
Exactly. There was nothing into that. So then, basically because of this, Joanne begins to think that she was crazy. That her mind was just making all this up. And Ian kept saying that it was just because of the coke talk. It's the drugs talking. I don't know what you're talking about. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So police weren't taking any actions. She begins believing that she's wrong about Ian, and she apologizes. Guys,
Ugh.
this girl thought that she was crazy and ended up apologizing to Ian Watkins.
Ugh, man.
What kind of... Oh, man. All right. Well, later, after that whole thing had happened,
Yeah.
they decided to meet at a hotel, and there he shows her a video of him raping a young girl. This is when she realized, I'm not making this up. I was right about this dude, Ian.
Yeah, you are.
You know? So she doesn't know what to do because the police weren't taking any actions. She was just dumbfounded, you know? Because honestly, first of all, why are you showing your ex-girlfriend
a video like this?
Yes, a video you raping a young woman or a young girl. That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, in March 2009, she's interviewed by the Wales police, but no further action was taken. So basically, this interview that she was in, it was just for her to shut up. You know, let's give her what she wants so that she could just stay quiet, you know, because we're tired of her, you know, saying all this BS about Ian Watkins. So that's what they did, an interview to basically finally shut her up.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
Right. In June 2009, Wales police officially closed the investigation into Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were claiming jurisdiction problems because he was over in LA, so they couldn't do anything about it. At this point, it seems like they're not even really trying. You know?
Yeah.
And Ian started telling Joanne about a 5-year-old he had been raping on a regular basis. You know, like, what do you mean?
On a regular basis?
Yeah, and he said it was the child of some obsessed junkie mom.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Oh.
Come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
And this was actually the first instance that Ian told her about, abusing a fan's child. He then sends her 3 indecent pictures of this girl.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, this is
Some
heavy.
stuff, yeah.
I'm speechless.
Joanne actually ends up finding the father of the little girl who's in the drug paraphernalia picture, the one with the rolled up note.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he knows nothing about this picture, and he ends up reporting this picture to the police, and they tell him not to look into it any further.
What?
Yeah, they tell that to him. And he also reports it to social services, and they tell him that they were satisfied that his daughter was safe.
God.
So they didn't look into it
either. Now this is another kind of group of people that do not believe it. Not first, it's just the police.
Yeah, it's two
and
different
now
entities.
The
now.
child services.
Yeah.
Are basically saying nope.
Nope.
Be quiet.
They don't want it. They don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. That was it.
It seems.
That was it.
Yeah. In May 2011, Joanne emails the ACPO, which is the Association of Chief of Police Officers, claiming that Watkins was raping a young child. And again, no further action was taken.
Yeah. So in March 2012, Joanne gets in contact with a woman who, for the sake of protecting her child's identity, we'll call her B. Okay, now B was in contact with Ian, who had told her that he wanted to give her baby a GHB. Now, GHB is a rape drug, and this basically attacks the central nervous system. Wait. Now, B was in contact with Ian, who had told her that he wanted to give her baby a GHB. GHB, also known as the date rape drug. Yep. Central nervous system is, it's a depressant pill, basically. And Joanne and B agreed to meet at her local police station to file a complaint and turn in evidence against Ian. But B never shows. B never shows.
B never shows.
Yeah. Just stop this guy already. She doesn't show up. B is one of Ian's 2 co-defendants during his trial. B is a mother convicted pedophile for horrific things she let Watkins do to her children or to her child. Basically, she allowed Ian to do whatever, took over the child basically. And she was eventually sentenced to 17 years in prison. Good. And in April 2012, Essex police passed new information to South Wales on Watkins, and the case was growing. Finally, the case is growing.
Starting to grow,
Yeah, so now they're really taking a focus on Watkins and what he's really doing behind the scenes.
Yep, and while this was happening, a detective sergeant from South Wales Police Force was under investigation under allegations that he may not have acted on report of alleged man raping a 15-year-old girl.
Oh my goodness.
He didn't act on it. And that same man was let free. Months later, down the line, he assaults a 5-year-old girl.
Yep.
So that looks pretty bad for the South Wales Police.
Oh yeah.
Letting a man like this go and obviously not taking action.
Yeah, they should have taken this case so serious,
Yeah, in September 2020, in September 21, 2012, Ian was arrested on possession of illegal drugs. Police actually seized his computer, and this actually had some damning evidence. He's then released on bail and continues touring. And Joanne continues to meet with Watkins so she can try and gather more evidence.
Oh my goodness. Now, in November 2012, LostProphets last performance with Watkins at Newport. And in December 2012, Ian Watkins was arrested and charged with 13 sex offenses against children, including attempted rape of a 1-year-old girl, together with both of the mother's co-defendants.
Okay, so at this point, he's finally arrested.
Yeah, he's in custody, and they were trying to figure out what actions basically is going to be taking against Ian, right? And let's talk about his trial. All
right, let's move on to the trial. So during the trial, Joanne,
So, in April 2012, Essex police passed new information to South Wales on Watkins, and the case started to grow bigger and bigger.
Yeah, the case was finally starting to pick up some traction.
Picking up some traction.
And actually, while this was happening, a detective sergeant of South Wales Police Force was under investigation under allegations that he may not have acted on report of an alleged man raping a 15-year-old girl. And that same man was set free months later down the line to assault a 5-year-old girl. Oh man, so that looks pretty bad.
For the Wales Police, that is something that you should be taking serious on 24/7.
Something like that,
365. Yeah,
it's crazy,
man.
In September 21, 2012, Watkins was arrested for possession of illegal drugs, and at this time, police actually seized his computer, which contained damning evidence. He's then released on bail and continues touring.
Yeah.
Joanne continues to meet up with Watkins so she can try and gather more evidence.
Yep. And in November 2012, LostProphets last performance with Watkins at Newport. That is basically, the last time the public has seen him on stage. And in December 2012, Ian Watkins was arrested and charged with 13 sex offenses against children, including an attempted rape of a 1-year-old. And together with both of the mother's co-defendants. So basically, it was Ian Watkins, the mom,
and the other mom. Yeah, they were both arrested and tried after that.
Yep.
Let's go into the trial.
Yeah.
During the trial, Joanne actually has her time in court to kind of give her side of the story and kind of explain that she repeatedly went to police and Ian's family with allegations and that she wasn't believed until Ian was actually arrested.
Right.
Yeah. In November 2013, Watkins changed his plea from initially innocent to guilty of attempted rape of the two babies of two different fans. One victim being a 10-year-old boy. I'm sorry. One victim being a 10-month-old boy. Ugh. That's even worse.
10-month-old. This is a barely newborn that
God.
you had assaulted.
Whoa, that is.
Yeah, this is
low.
Yeah, that's way too
Disgusting.
low.
Disgusting.
No, I don't even know any animal that does that.
Yeah. So court evidence shows Ian telling one mother that he wants to quote unquote whore her baby girl to fat old men, and that she will know nothing but a life of filth. These offenses date back to 2007.
Mm-hmm. And this wasn't even long ago.
It wasn't that.
This early 2000s, like, or mid 2000s.
I mean, right now, like looking back now, it doesn't seem that long ago.
Yeah, it
does.
doesn't.
Like over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, still though, like, man, that was not even 10 years, 9 years.
9 years. Well, I mean, 2007.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about that.
Okay, yeah. So my math is wrong.
Oh, I mean,
we got it. We got it.
Okay. Back to the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
A few days later, after pleading guilty, he calls a woman from prison and says that he wants to put out a public statement saying that it was megalols. I don't know what everyone is getting so freaked out about.
What? Well, okay, did you just say megalols, bro? Like,
that's quite something to say.
I never said megalols back then, 2007,
or whatever, right? Cause
that's kind of
funny.
Dude,
No, I never said megalols. I said lols all the time, but like,
yeah, but still, that is some sick shit for you to be saying in the first place after doing some heinous crime.
Yeah, like that obviously shows that this man had no remorse for what he did.
Yeah,
like he did not feel guilty at all.
Yeah, and you know his psychology his psychologist. Mm-hmm. Actually, he had gone through some kind of like mental test to see where he's at,
Mm-hmm.
And Ian presents a high risk of causing sexual, physical, emotional, psychological. And actually, Ian had gone through some tests to test his psychology, basically.
Yeah.
And Ian presents a high risk of causing serious sex. A psych evaluation came back, and it was presented as high risk of causing serious sexual, physical, emotional, and psychological harm to children, both male and female, specifically his female sexual partners. And the factors that went into this was the delight Ian seemed to take when performing these acts on tiny children. Right? That's just one factor. He's also his need to dominate any sexual partner with corruptive influence on basically young females. Mm-hmm. The use of drugs.
Yeah.
And combination with, sexual assaults.
That's low.
Man, and his interest in extreme pornography, child and bestiality. That's
come on, Ian.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
That's
like
pretty sick.
Even animals are not safe from this dude.
Even animals.
Yeah, even animals. It's no good. It's big no. He seems to show no remorse at all in his face, and just blank face. Imagine you talking to someone, asking all these personal questions, and they just stare at you into your eyes, into your soul, and just giving you that, I don't care what I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was me.
Yeah.
And his computer password is quote unquote, I fuck kids. What the fuck kind of dude? That's a confession in itself.
Yep.
All right, because first of all, you own that computer and you made that password yourself.
That's pretty condemning.
Yeah. That's oh my god.
Pretty damning.
That's sick. That's sick.
Like. Yeah.
And also, if you guys are wondering how he spelled his password, it is IFUKKIDZ.
Oh, with a Z.
I fuck kids. That's how he spelled it. Fuck kids.
You're sick, Ian.
You fucking animal.
Help.
Get the fuck out of here,
bro.
Oh my god.
All right. So in 2013, Ian Watkins was. In 2013, Watkins was sentenced to 35 years in prison for child sex offenses, other charges of taking and possessing indecent pictures of children, and one charge of possessing an extreme pornographic image involving an animal.
That's
oh God.
you be fucking goats, bro.
Goats? Not even the goats are safe.
No, not the goats.
Both co-defendants were charged with conspiracy. They received prison sentences of 14 and 17 years.
Oh, yeah.
In an interview following the incarceration of Watkins, Chief Inspector Peter Doyle stated that he's the most dangerous sex offender I've ever met because he shows no guilt, no emotion, no sympathy in the face of all this overwhelming evidence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I would be scared, too.
Like, I mean, at least act like you're sorry, though. You know,
yeah, yeah. Put a little bit of a show at least, dude.
You did some pretty horrible things, and like to show like this kind of attitude towards it, like you're a sick guy. Like disgusting.
I can't even, bro. This is crazy. Well, while he was in prison, he's been transferred several times, but ultimately has ended up at HM Prison Wakefield, which is a notorious housing for infamous sex offenders throughout the country. So, I mean, he was put on this in this prison for the fact that he assaulted children, and in regular prison, nobody survives a day that has a case like that.
They had to have like a separate facility for these guys.
Yes, that's exactly.
What
So in 2017, Watkins is accused of grooming a young mother from prison through mail. Dude,
you have to handwrite these letters.
Not even bars could prevent this man from harassing people.
What the heck?
What the fuck kind of sick? Oh my goodness. God. Well, in 2018, Watkins is caught with a cell phone in his ass, in his anus, bro.
I mean,
bro, iPhones are big. Well, anyways,
I just hope it was like a Galaxy Note or something like that. Those huge ass phones.
Any phones, man, that's gonna hurt. That's man, not from experience, guys. Just telling y'all. He pleads not guilty though, so he still claims that other prisoners were extorting him and forcing him to hide the phone. Now, if a prisoner tells me to hide a phone, it ain't gonna go in my ass, that's for sure, alright?
Okay, but no, here's the thing. He's caught with a phone in his anus, and then he says, I didn't do it. That's basically what happened. I didn't put that there. How'd that get there?
Who did that, nigga? You explain. Who put that? Who put that in there? Was it me? Well, none of us did it. That was all you, bro. Yeah. We ain't stupid like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
So the IPCC, like I said earlier, they did a report on their investigation on the South Wales Police. Yeah. So their report was pretty damning. It contained stuff like they missed a series of opportunities they could have taken in order to stop Ian years before the atrocities would take place. So I mean, they could have stopped this a long time ago before any of that would happen. It stated stuff like there were errors in emissions and stuff like they failed to carry out rudimentary investigation. That looks really bad for the South Wales Police.
Oh yeah, for a department that's supposed to protect people.
They're supposed to protect and serve. Yeah, but they didn't. The analysis of Ian's seized computers, mobile phones, and storage devices reveals a message sent to Joanne Magelix that says, "Wish list, rape a 12-year-old."
Oh my God.
He also mentions underage twins in that same message. The message corroborated with Miss Magelix's allegations that Watkins had expressed desires to abuse children. So basically, they said that Miss Magelix was right.
Yeah, exactly.
She was right all along. That's what they were saying. There's tons more interesting details about this investigation in those reports, and they're available online for anybody to view.
Yep, and check it out if you guys think that we're playing. Just to show you guys that's what it is. So right now we're gonna play a clip of the South Wales Police giving a public apology in The Independent, which is, I believe, a show.
It's a famous publication.
Yeah,
in the
publication.
UK, like a news
Okay.
network.
And yeah, let's see what they said.
It's a number of failings in which information about Ian Watkins was investigated between 2008 and 2012, which the force entirely accepts and regrets. South Wales Police failed to listen and properly investigate information about Watkins' offending behaviour. For this, we are truly sorry.
So they missed a lot of signs.
Honestly, he did not look sorry to me. I feel like they just did that to kind of compensate for what Joanne had gone through when during the times that they did not believe her allegations against Ian. You know? And I feel like that's what it is, and for nothing else. Well, anyways, moving on. His ex-bandmates have released also a public apology similar to the Wales Police Department, and they had no idea that this was happening, actually. And Ian would always be gone for most of the year. They assumed that he was in Wales spending some time with his family. And actually, in this apology, they urged other victims to come forth and tell your story, and they're actually helping them out.
Yeah, that's good.
If there's any other victims out there that are scared, the ex-bandmates are here to support you guys. And don't ever think that you're soft for coming out like that.
Yeah, these are just the stories that where people came forward and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, right. This is not all of them.
Who knows what else he did?
Definitely not know.
I mean, the band members have since gone on to start a new band with a completely different sound, and they're called No Devotion. Go check them out on Spotify and stuff like that.
Make sure you check them out. Show their support as well. So, show Ian Watkins what the fuck he gave up, basically. Yeah.
He could have had it all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he did have it all.
He did.
At one point. Yeah.
He was on top of the world.
So, yeah.
Interesting fact. It's rumored that Ian was a victim of the North Wales child abuse scandal in Bryn Eston Children's Homes. Now, this was a part of the Jimmy Savile investigation. Now, there he goes again, Jimmy Savile.
Right. If you guys want us to do that episode on Jimmy Savile, make sure to
let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we'd be glad to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you guys have heard that name twice now in both episodes that we have released. This one and Gary Glitters, so...
Yeah.
It could be a good one.
It could be a good one. Just let us know.
Yeah,
we're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting note, another man with the same exact name as Ian Watkins was misidentified as the singer from as on a side note, another man with the same exact name as Watkins was misidentified as the singer and frontman of LostProphets, and he received a lot of hate mail through Twitter. Ian H. Watkins later sues E! Entertainment Television for having used photos of him to illustrate the LostProphets singer. So that's kind of messed up.
That's messed up. That is messed up. Just because, I mean, I feel like Ian Watkins is one of those names that are just very, very common, right?
Yeah.
And being Ian H. Watkins,
it comes with that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
hearts out to Ian H. Watkins. Sorry,
hey dude, I'm sorry,
for what
man.
you had to go through.
We know it was not you.
Yeah.
All right, we all know it was not you, and. Man, I'm
Ian
sorry that
Watkins.
they used your photo for that, dude. That must have been crazy. Yeah, I cannot imagine what your neighbor thought when they saw you in the news.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's the Ian Watkins we know? Like,
I mean, I couldn't even...
But,
that would suck.
Yeah, fortunately, that was not him, though.
That wasn't him. That was him. Separate guy, different guy.
Yeah, but, yeah, I feel bad. So, if you're watching this, Ian H. Watkins... leave a comment down below. And I wish you the best of luck. But anyways, what do you think about the real Ian Watkins? Anyways, what do you think about Ian Watkins?
I think that he's sick. He's a sick piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
And he shouldn't be allowed on the streets.
Yeah,
I
no.
would never want anybody like that, like
No.
near me or anyone I know.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I think Ian Watkins is just he showed no type of like remorse towards like the family or even like the children. You know?
I mean, he could be like insane. You know,
Right.
Maybe he doesn't know how bad it is. What he's
Yeah,
really
but
doing,
you have to have some type of clarity in your mind to let you know that this ain't right. You know, what you're doing is not right. So I don't know, man. Ian Watkins is just really very evil in my point
needs
of
help.
view. Yeah, he really
Get
does.
help, Ian. If
He
you
really
see this.
does. So yeah.
Okay, Jan, tell me, do you think that he'd be able to reintegrate into society?
Nah.
Hell no?
No, hell no. I cannot even like imagine him being let out like free as a free man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if he was to go back in society, I would say like he has to be in some type of like isolation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or, like, restricted.
Send this dude to an island by himself or something with two goats in there. I don't know.
I'd feel bad for the
goats. Yeah. Honestly, sorry for the goats as well. All right, we don't know that it was goats, by the way. It was just
Well, I don't know.
yeah. But yeah, do you think that that's what he deserved? Just 35 years in prison?
Hell no. I think that he deserved. Hell no. I think that he deserved life.
Yeah.
I think that he should have done way more than 35 years, but unfortunately for people like this, they get some pretty low sentences.
Oh, yeah.
And 35 years is a long time for them.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, apparently it's a long time for them, but, you know, given the case, 13 charge.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, the things that he did, like,
is
no
this-
amount of time
yeah,
could,
I think
make that right.
because like I said, and I always will say this about this, is that those people live with this type of trauma.
Yeah, forever.
All right, and that involves the family and the parents as
like
well.
even the babies, like they're eventually gonna learn that this happened to them,
right,
and
right,
like they'll have to live with that.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
and that sucks, you know, because he took advantage of these children at a very, very, very
sick.
young age,
Yeah.
and to a point where they had just literally come out the womb. And yeah, that's.
How about everyone else? Let us know what you think about Ian Watkins. If
Yeah.
you think that he deserves to be integrated back into society, you know, let us know in the comments down below.
Yes, right.
All right, and so that is the Ian Watkins case. Frontman of LostProphets, Disgraced Rock sensation from Wales, convinced his mega fans to give him their babies. We hope we were able to shine some light for you guys today.
And if you guys enjoyed the video today, and if you guys enjoyed the episode today, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps us out. Come on, just come on, do it,
Yep.
do it, do it, do it, do it right now, please. All right. But with that being said, welcome to the Night Parade. Once again, my name is Jan,
And I'm Glenn, and that's right. Welcome to the Night Parade.
peace out.